Welcome everyone. Let's start. I'm actually not able to on my camera because I'm outside. Wanted to show my kids Christmas lights, so I'm in the city. But yeah, we'll be hosting this session. And today we have with us Nimitha. She is my colleague in Microsoft, and she's a data and AI cloud solution architect. Too much happening about OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, generative AI, ChatGPT. So she's an expert in all those topics and talks about these things professionally in her day-to-day life. And she kindly offered us this opportunity to hear from her directly. She's also a little bit about herself. So she is a mother of two kids, and she is into uh, yoga and meditation and spirituality, and as well as she loves trekking on the weekends and having fun with her family. So welcome, Nimitha. And today's session is actually going to be more of a OpenAI or Azure OpenAI 101. So just to give you an introduction, because we are hearing a lot, and sometimes it can be a bit tricky to understand what is the context if we don't know, if we haven't started at the beginning, right? So hopefully once you do this session, you attend this session, you'll be able to actually, whenever you're reading articles or watching some videos, you will be able to contemplate better and be active in the chat and everywhere, like, and if you can on your cameras, if you're not out like me, that would be good. Unmute yourself, raise your hand, talk to the speaker, and I'm sure Nimitha will love that. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. And Nimitha, over to you.
Thanks, Aisha, for the wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. It's good to see so many of you joining the session today, especially I know it's all holiday season, so really appreciate, spending time for the session. So as Isha said, so I'll be covering what AI is, what OpenAI is. We all know, or at least we are all hearing these terms, in day-to-day life, right? So just want to give a bit of introduction of what AI is, and then I'll talk about OpenAI and the partnership of Microsoft with OpenAI. So I'll be talking more about Azure OpenAI. And I also have a quick recorded demo, which we generally show to our customers. So I'm just going to show you that so that you understand like how this is all happening in real world. So with that, I'll just bring my screen. And as Isha said, like let's keep this as interactive as possible. If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand or put your questions in the chat as well. Okay. So before I start talking about AI, I just want to touch a bit on evolution of AI. Generally, like I have to, really would like to cover about like the past, present, and the future of AI. So AI has been around for decades, and it is not a new concept. We all know that, but the recent advancements in AI has made it like more powerful than before. So when we talk about the history of AI, so if you know, the first digital computers were invented about just 8 decades ago. And in 2000, machine learning and deep learning emerged as a powerful new approach to AI. So deep learning is a really important concept to understand when we talk about AI because it has really revolutionized the field of AI in recent years. It has enabled significant advancements in areas such as computer vision, and if you're familiar with natural language processing, etc. So these are areas where deep learning is used. And when we talk about machine learning, it is nothing but a set of algorithms or methods that computer scientists use to train computers to basically train them how to learn. And I think you're all familiar with this autonomous systems that is getting very popular, such as self-driving cars and drones. So the main concept behind all this is reinforcement learning, and it is a type of machine learning which kind of involves training an agent to make decisions. Um, so just 10 years ago, no machine could really, provide language or, image recognition at a human level. And coming to the present where we are now, so AI is already here, and it is a technology that already impacts all of us, and it has come a long way. And today, it is an integral part of our daily lives. We can't deny that. And AI has already changed what we see, what we know, and what we do. Today is being used in a wide range of applications, as I said, starting from self-driving cars to virtual agents or assistants. And AI is also rapidly evolving, and it is a technology that has a real potential to revolutionize the world as we know it, and it has become an essential part of modern life. So it is really important that all of us, develop an understanding of what is happening and how we want the technology to be used. And in recent years, capability of AI systems has become much more impressive. While the early systems focused on generating images of faces, the newer technology or the OpenAI models kind of broaden their capabilities. It now provides options to convert text to image based on almost any data that we present to the model. And looking at the future of AI, so future of AI is, of course, it's going to be exciting and it holds immense potential. It is expected to, revolutionize the way we live, work, and interact with each other. However, it is also important to ensure that AI is developed ethically and responsibly, keeping in mind the potential risk and the challenges that it poses.
So, Nimitha, what are the benefits of AI as you see them?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, as I said, like we all know, it is impacting our day-to-day lives, and it has been a game changer in many industries, starting from energy, healthcare, education, and it provides a wide range of benefits. Just to call out few, it increases the efficiency. So AI can now automate repetitive tasks, freeing up time for workers or employees to focus on more complex tasks. And it also improved accuracy. So AI algorithms can analyze a large amount of data, and it can also identify patterns that humans might miss. And it also improves customer experiences. For example, AI-powered chatbots, which can provide 24 by 7 customer support. So this is really a huge benefit for organizations dealing with some mission critical applications or solutions. And if you consider healthcare, for example, AI can be used to improve healthcare outcomes by analyzing patient data, and it can also identify the potential health risk for patients. And it also can be used to optimize energy consumption, and it can help reduce waste as well. So these are some of the examples of how AI is being used to benefit businesses and consumers. Um,
That's that's very interesting, especially the health one. We have seen a lot of advancement these days because of AI and machine learning, and people think it might be new. Like we know on the social platforms, but even Netflix has its the algorithm of how picks favorite your favorite picks and every. So it's already everywhere. It's just that with the with the it's been latest buzz, just in this 2023. But we have already started seeing it from it was under the wraps from so many years. So that's interesting to know. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, really. Like it's just that the last few years has been a real hype when it comes to AI, and it is also like some of the reasons also like the latest introduction of ChatGPT, etc. So which is a hot topic in the industry as well. So yeah, as I said, like AI is expected to have a profound impact on the world and also the future of work. And we are already seeing it. While some experts believe that AI will lead to replacement of human workers, others argue that it will create new opportunities and lead to increased productivity and economic growth. Regardless of the outcome, it is clear that AI will have a significant effect on the job market and the skills needed to succeed in the workforce. And with respect to workforce, I just recently was studying a post in LinkedIn, and it was talking about a recent study which says like 10 to 30% of jobs in UK could be automated with AI. And generative AI is expected to have a major impact on the future of work. It can automate many jobs, it can create new ones. So reskilling is really crucial to adapt to these changing demands. And yeah, I would highly encourage everyone to just get to the basics of what AI is and understand how it is going to benefit the future. And one of the biggest impacts that I have seen so far is on creating new medicines. AI tools can really speed up the process of drug discovery significantly, and some companies are already working on cancer drugs, which is purely with the help of AI. And if you know about the Gates Foundation, a key priority of the Gate Foundation in AI is ensuring these tools are also used to address other health issues like, AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, etc. So if we think about that, people with disabilities, AI is also helping people living independently with disabilities. For example, voice assisted AI is one of the major breakthroughs, particularly for those who are visually impaired. It helped them to communicate with others using the smart devices and describe their surroundings. And one other thing that I would like to call out is education. So schools are now adopting personalized learning assistants, which can create learning plans to each student's individual learning needs. And AI can now help grade exams with some answer keys, and it can also analyze student success metrics. So, yeah, it has enormous potential to serve society. So, bringing more radical innovations for humans in the future. And it could help people and communities around the world by solving some of the toughest challenges we face. So, with sensible use of AI, I believe we are going to see a wide scope of AI applications and new developments for social good.
Thanks, Nimitha. And just so you talked a lot about AI, and what about OpenAI, and how is it different from Azure OpenAI? And because there's a lot of confusion in the market, there's Chat GPT, but then there is Azure, like because a lot of these tools are restricted by the companies themselves. But then Microsoft is still selling them, and it's trying to like innovate in enterprise way. So what's the difference, and what is it all about?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I keep getting this question from like many people that I interact with. So just to talk about OpenAI. So basically, OpenAI is a research organization. I hope everyone knows about the company. So the company was founded in 2015 by a group of leading AI researchers, including Elon Musk and Sam Altman. So the organization is basically dedicated to advancing AI in a way that is safe for humanity. And OpenAI is also known for its work on natural language processing and generative models. and they have really made significant contributions to the field of AI. And in fact, they are one of the reasons why we keep hearing these terms, in wherever we go. So they've made such a huge impact. And more than anything, OpenAI is famous for its ChatGPT models, so which can generate human-like text, and it has been the subject of much attention and debates. And experts believe that GPT-3 is going to make a significant step forward in AI. And when we talk about Azure OpenAI, so this is a service that provides access to cutting edge language models like GPT. We have Codex, DALI, which is a text to image kind of model. So this is purely within the Azure ecosystem, which will safeguard customers' data as well. So it is purely a partnership between Microsoft and OpenAI. So by joining force, Microsoft brings its powerful cloud computing infrastructure to the table, while OpenAI brings its impressive knowledge and the models and skills in AI. But there are some key differences between OpenAI and Azure OpenAI. OpenAI is focused on developing these AI models or the foundational models for a variety of applications, while Azure OpenAI is focused on providing the access to the OpenAI model within the Azure ecosystem. And Azure OpenAI is also integrated with some of the other Azure products. If you're familiar with Azure Search or Azure, blob storage, so this has that tight integration with the other Azure products, while OpenAI is not. It is not integrated with Azure products. In terms of security, OpenAI, it has some minimal security features, but Azure OpenAI safeguards users' data and it provides enterprise-grade security features. And because Azure OpenAI is hosted on Microsoft Azure, the service provides robust scalability and reliability features as well, which means whoever develops these applications can easily, leverage to deploy their AI application with confidence without having to worry about, managing the underlying infrastructure. So that's the, main difference between OpenAI and Azure OpenAI.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so it's about giving that whole enterprise plane and not just a API that you're calling. So that's really good, and I love the applications that Microsoft is putting. So if I remember, for those, because people who are looking at this, you know that Nimitha is already sharing the deck that I'm asking, because this morning we shared the questions and you told me, Nimitha, that this is all generated in OpenAI, right? It took you 15 minutes to generate this
Yes.
based on what I shared with you. So how did you
Yeah.
do that? If maybe not a demo, but maybe if you can talk about just same like you told me.
Yeah, it's so simple. Like like I hope you all are familiar with the Copilot that Microsoft provides. So I just use the PowerPoint deck, and it has this option called Copilot, which is integrated with PowerPoint now. So if you have this M365 subscription, then you will have this Copilot by default. So you can then use the Copilot to create the slide deck for you. So I just basically typed in, okay, today I'm going to present or talk about Azure OpenAI, and I'm going to talk about some differences between OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, and provide a list of questions of what I have to cover today as part of the presentation. And then the Copilot comes with all the slides with the images. It also comes with a narrative talk. And I was so excited seeing that, but I still need to, update few of them. But, it's so simple and it's super helpful. You can just, complete a slide deck within like 15-20 minutes with the help of Copilot.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I know we didn't discuss about this, but yeah, it was really good. And I think I will be using it as well, because I think creating PPTs is a bit tedious. Like a lot of times we know what we want to share, but then designing, putting them, in the frame and in such a beautiful manner, it's a hard job because we are not designers, all of us, right? So it can be hard. Um,
Exactly. And
yeah.
if you don't like, for example, the picture that you can see in the slide, you can ask Copilot, I don't like this picture, give me a different picture, or put some reference, change the format, styling. It can do anything.
Wow, that's really good. Now, because I think we are all so pumped up about Azure OpenAI and OpenAI co-pilots and all, um, another important thing, like what if the people here, they take this idea to their managers or to their organizations, and we all know what they're going to hear about, right? The main concern of any organization today is data protection. Like there's a big fear that these large language models are being trained on the corporate data, it's not secure, and all that. So how does Microsoft or Azure OpenAI handle that?
Yeah, that's a really important question. And, data privacy and security is an important factor to consider when using cloud services, including Azure OpenAI. Microsoft is committed to ensuring that users have control over the data. So Azure OpenAI is a Microsoft Azure service, so which is subject to Microsoft's data protection policies and service terms. Um, let's understand like how data provided by you to the Azure OpenAI service is processed, used, and stored. So when we deal with OpenAI, there are few things. One is like your prompt and then the completion. Prompt is nothing but the question or the input that you give to the OpenAI models, and completion is the response that comes back from the model. So the prompts and completions are not stored within the model itself. So Azure OpenAI is a stateless API. So this means that the API does not have the capability to store data. Every time data is sent to the API, it is an entirely new interaction with the model. So the API is seeing the data for the first time. And for every prompt or the question, the model generates a new output or completion based on some mathematical algorithms and statistical weights in the model. So for models like ChatGPT that have a conversational capability, which can make it seem like there is memory behind the model or something like that. But this is all accomplished because the content of the previous prompts and the completions are all included to each prompt sent to the API. So for each chat GPT interaction or the API calling, the Azure OpenAI is going to append all those previous conversation so that it appears like the model is going to have the memory and it just responds. So there is an option for users to tune this number of prompts and response that will be included in each new prompt to retain this conversational context. And when sometimes like users also can fine tune a model. So fine tune a model is a tedious process and it requires a lot of quality data. So this is generally an approach where you think like, okay, the foundational model is not going to fit my use case, I need something more. So that's when you go with fine tuning. So when data is uploaded by users to fine-tune a model, both the data and the model are stored in Azure storage, which gets encrypted at rest in the same region as your Azure OpenAI resource. So, users can also apply to encrypt the data uploaded for fine-tuning using their own managed keys. And data uploaded for fine-tuning is not used to train or improve the underlying foundational Azure OpenAI models. And the user's fine-tuned models can only be used by the user and for that specific scenario or the use case. So they can also delete those files and fine-tune models at any time. I see there's a hand raised. Is there a question, Kokila?
Yeah, hi Nimitha, this is Kokila. So I just in related to that, sometime back I have attended a session, Microsoft session, and they were talking something about enterprise AI. That means in terms of the data privacy, something called enterprise AI that Microsoft is working. How does it relate to Azure OpenAI?
Okay, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Are you talking about the Bing Enterprise?
I think it should be Bing Chat Enterprise. Maybe that's the one that she's referring to. Are we correct?
Yeah, like something like, in terms of data privacy, like Microsoft is working through, like, so in a way that, like, within that organization, within that enterprise, for example, if like, the model is developed to something similar to OpenAI, but it's kind of a restricted within the enterprise level. That's all I understood
Yeah,
from that session. Yeah.
yes, yes. It was when we presented the Chat GPT versus like why Chat GPT is restricted, but then what's Bing Enterprise. So I think Nimitha, you can talk if you can talk about that a bit.
Yeah, so I think what you're referring is like the Bing Enterprise version. So we have something called this Enterprise version with which you can totally secure the data and the prompts, the questions, the responses that you get from the Bing Enterprise chat. So if you use the normal Bing, everything that you actually ask, like all the questions and the interactions that you have with Bing is not secured. But when you use this enterprise version, so this is think of it like a more kind of a personalized version. So you can also use this enterprise Bing. So for example, if you have a PDF document or a Word document, you can just point to that and tell, okay, can you summarize this document for me? And this is going to do it for you. So that is something that we recently introduced for enterprise customers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That is something different to Azure OpenAI. Yeah, Azure OpenAI is like basically you're using the available foundational models and building your own applications.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So, yeah, and just to continue with that, so we also have this prompts and completions which are actually stored and logged just for management purposes. So the data is stored within the Azure OpenAI regional boundary. And it also gets encrypted at rest, and it also, has this access controls so that you can restrict user access to those data, and you can also delete the data after 30 days. The only few scenarios in which a human looks at the data are really for debugging purposes in the event of failure. And when the abuse detection models detect there is a potential behavior or content which is basically violating the code of conduct or something. So at that point, what happens is some authorized human reviewer, for example, a Microsoft employee, will examine the flagged content to determine if abusive behavior or content is actually present. So that's the way like we deal with data protection and privacy. And as I said, Microsoft, provides this enterprise grade security for your data, and your data is going to be your data. It's not going to be used for any other training purposes.
Thanks, Nimitha. So again, there's some time back, there were jokes and memes coming that Azure AI or OpenAI or generative AI has been used in a wrong way, like, people asking how to rob a bank and how to, do some wrong activity. So how are these companies handling this type of tricky situation?
Yeah, that's with every good technology, we also have some, bad experiences. So we hear this a lot from our customers as well. So really, it is important to understand like how Microsoft is dealing with this. So I just really want to talk about the responsible AI policies. So as AI becomes more prevalent, it's essential to ensure that it's being used in a responsible and ethical manner. And Azure OpenAI provides all the tools, for detecting and addressing harmful content, and is committed to upholding ethical principles and promoting responsible AI. So responsible AI is an approach to design, build, and deploy AI that ensures ethical and sustainable use. And responsible AI is in fact a crucial step to building trust in AI and ensuring its long-term success. So to reduce the risk of harmful use of Azure OpenAI services, so we generally have different features, but I would like to highlight like two important features. One is the content filtering, and the second one is abuse monitoring features. So the content filtering system basically detects and takes action on specific categories of potentially harmful content in both your input prompt and the output completion. So this will basically use content filtering models behind the scenes to classify content into four categories: hate, sexual violence, and self-harm. So these models have been specifically trained and tested on several languages to detect the content or the harmful content. And Azure OpenAI also has this abuse monitoring, which detects and mitigates, instances of recurring content or behaviors that may violate the code of conduct. So there are again several components to abuse monitoring, but we have all the tools that's built in to make sure that we have a safe play when it comes to Azure OpenAI.
Yeah, it's really really needed, right? With you just talking about putting this power in the hands of kids, especially teenagers. When we want to explore a lot, when we have a bit of, we just it's not like we are bad, but we just want to try new things and see. I think it's really good that we are thinking about responsible AI, not just for adults, but also for everyone who will come in interaction with that. So I really like this concept and the way Microsoft pushes it. I'm not saying because I am an employee, but even in general, I think anyone who hears about it appreciates that a thought has been given to this thing as well. I think
Of course, sir.
yeah, I think we are done with the questions. Unless you have something to add, we can move on to demo and then maybe open the floor for other people.
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead with the demo. As I said, like this is a recorded demo. So I'm just going to play this out and then I think we can open the floor for any questions. Let me know if you can't hear the video.
Information in the response. Notice how it says that in the Pacific time zone, so it can deliver in the same day with stuff. It's emojis to boot. views. We can't wait to see the
Looks like there was a glitch in the demo. Is that okay for everyone? The volume and the demo?
Not that great, but it's all right. Now it is completely lost though.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So there's some glitch because yeah, I'm happy to share this like in case if you want to see that again. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think we should share this, Nimitha, maybe separately, because this recording itself will has whatever you shared. So I think that will have the glitch. We can what I'll do, everyone, is when I share the recording on the YouTube, I'll take this link from Nimitha and put it in the description. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I think this demo was mainly to show you like how it all, works in real world and how basically you can interact and start creating the applications. But before I open the floor for questions, I'd like to, end the presentation with a famous quote from Alan Key. The best way to predict the future is to invent it. So if you don't know who Alan Key is, he is a computer scientist, best known for his work on object-oriented programming and Windows graphical user interface. So thank you for being here today. I really appreciate that you took the time to be here and listen to my presentation.